Awesome. And now it's a great honor to introduce someone who has been a constant source of inspiration and wisdom into my life. And and that's my dad, Rueben Sarvananthan. His guidance of leadership and manifesting dreams has shaped who I am today. I know his insight will inspire and motivate one of you, which is a great thing. It's not just my dad, but also my mentor, my teacher. He's like a tool to me, He's also my my brain. I ask him a lot of things, and yeah, I get to learn a lot of things from him. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be hosting if he wouldn't have encouraged me to, be here and talk to people and inspire people. So yeah, I would like to invite him on. Daddy, Ruben Sarvananthan, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Wow, wonderful. Guys, let's put a 333 to say thank you to Hyacinth. He has done another amazing job today. And I love the fact that he's coachable. And it's great. Tyson, thank you. And I love your introduction. Thank you. Beautiful. I didn't know it was your brain. So now I can think and you'll do it, right? Beautiful. Timo, good to see you on. How did you find the boy? How did he do?
I was sitting here and I thought to myself, what a incredible, great leader of the future. It's right here upon within this Zoom goal. Many kids right now at 16 years old, they playing game or doing whatever the youth doing right now. But the fact that he started in this age group, it remind me a lot of things of myself back in the young age. But I am so proud of you, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing and never be afraid to fail. Even though this is maybe a couple of times you're already doing this, but trust me, you're gonna master this and you're gonna take over the world of leadership. But keep doing what you do. Like I said to you last week, you never do young do deeds and never do old to learn. That is very important.
Awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So for those who didn't know, when Hyson was talking about his mentor, not talking about Ronaldo, but he was talking about his other mentor. That was our Timonator, Timothy, who was there at the session on Saturday. If you were, please put a 777 in. How good was it? It was amazing, and we're so excited about the boot camp coming up and the stuff that we learned on the day. We went for dinner afterwards, Timo, and everyone had something positive, exciting that they took away, and they all said was amazing. So thank you, and it's good to have you on here. Awesome. Thank you, guys, for being on. Everyone, if you're excited, then I want you to put in a 555 to say I'm ready to take on what we're going to learn today. Today, I need you to make sure you have also a notepad and paper with you, a pen and notepad, sorry, or something digital to write on, if it's a digital thing, because we're going to actually do something very crucial today. We've been talking about dreams, and we've been talking about taking action, the vision statement from there, and living from freedom, and in freedom, not living to get to freedom. And what we're going to do today is an exercise that is very important. This is something I've done over the years. I started about close to 30 years ago, and every year I would at least once or twice in the year answer these questions. And that's what helped me become very clear in where I was heading. Now, as I said before, and we've got Timo here who can testify to this, a couple of months ago, we went to this huge transition. I began to just get a little bit distracted on where I was heading, what I was meant to be doing, trying out a few things. And then because of these questions and because of the clarity of my purpose, I was able to come back to it. So make sure you guys get a piece of paper and pen. And if you have got it and you're ready to go in a few minutes, it's not, the questions are going to be straight away. Just put a yes in the chat group and let's kick off. It's going to be powerful. Welcome to all the new people here who are here for the first time. Really glad you guys have made it. And if there's anyone here that has not yet come in that is meant to be here, write to them quickly, say, hey, we're on, jump in. Sometimes people can forget. Let's get started. I'm excited. All right, guys, let me know if you can see my screen. Awesome. Now let me know once I press play if you can see my screen. Ooh, it's not liking my screen at the moment. Here we go. Can you guys see the screen? Pop thumbs up again if you can. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Welcome. Wealth creation and leadership. I always get excited about planning for this. We woke up early this morning, which is unusual for me to wake up early. But again, we've set up a new plan for our activities, including a gym membership that we've started. We've finished off a previous gym workout with a personal trainer. Now we set up a 6 months gym membership plan with Gertrude, myself, and Hysin. And so we had to wake up in the morning early to get to the gym, which was exciting. Right, Hysin, you enjoyed it. It was good to just get into a routine for the next 6 months. And as I was there, I was just looking and thinking and planning through this day, and I was super excited on what we're going to be covering. Tesfa, good to see you on as well. Welcome. Sanj, good to see you on. Very good. And guys, if you see somebody on that you haven't seen before, Essie, welcome. Please write to them. Isaac, just say hi and say well done for coming in. Mercy, good to see you on as well. If I didn't call your name, please forgive me. Not on purpose. Love each one being on. Awesome. The next step in freedom series we've been doing, and we've been talking about dreams. And one of the things we talked about a couple of weeks ago was the 5 ways to manifest dreams, a couple of months ago, I should say. And then we looked at the first part. And last week we kind of touched on this a little. So I'm going to just do a little bit of a rerun of what we did last week as a summary, and then jump into what we're learning this week. I love this statement, and we need to start with this when we want to manifest our dreams. So we've been talking about how do we manifest our dreams? How do we start to imagine? How many of you would agree today that your brain, and this is scientifically proven, your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality? And if you would agree with that on a scale of 1 to 10, if you don't agree, put a 0. If you agree, fully agree with it, number 10. It doesn't change my agreement with it because it is scientifically proven, but it's also something that Jesus said in the Bible, as a man or woman thinks in their heart, in their imagination, so they are. All right. Our brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. So what are you thinking about? All right. I know when I was a little bit unsure where I was heading, and we have our ups and downs sometimes, and things are not going the way I'd expected. I was starting to imagine things that were not productive. Right. Anyone else done that? All right. And so I had to flip the switch. I had to change the frequency and go back to what am I imagining, which had to connect back to my dreams and my purpose. Are you doing the same? And I love this statement: I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. How good is that? And last week we went through some obstacles that people are facing, and then we went back and we looked at how do we change that, and manifesting dreams are very powerful. So have a dream, move it to vision, and attach to purpose. All right. So today I want to focus on dreams and the manifesting of those dreams and how it moves to vision. So remember, we talked about vision is a roadmap. Okay. So when we talk about a vision, it's not something up in the air. That's the dreams. But a vision is a roadmap of a plan and strategy with your imagination and God wisdom. Who likes that? All right. Pastor Rubika, I first used to give you the compliments of vision being a roadmap. Now it's mine. I've copyrighted it and added to it. And so I'm not anymore giving credentials to Pastor Rubika, but she came up with that idea of vision being a roadmap, and it literally jumped out at me. It was very, very exciting. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Okay. Because if you want to be like, I want some of you to write down, what are your dreams that you have whether it's in your business, in your career, whether it's in your family life. Like, one of the things I had to do was, having come from a broken marriage, I had to come into my marriage and say, I am the best husband my wife has. And I had to imagine it because I was pretty beaten over some things that had happened in my life that I didn't expect to happen, wasn't expecting it to come, came from nowhere, but it was still a reality. And so I had to start to imagine and begin to declare, I am the best husband that I will be to my wife. She's got the best one. All right. And in saying that, it took a while to believe it, but hey, how many of you know that I'm the best husband for my wife, for Gertrude? Yeah, put a 777 if you agree, and if you don't agree, don't put anything in. All right, don't be cheeky. Now, but she's the best for me as well, and we declare that every morning upon our lives. And so it is very rare for us to have arguments and misunderstandings. It does happen, but it's very, very rare. And we have this beautiful relationship that I can actually call her my best friend and walk with her because we have like vision. So what are your dreams? Type some of them down. Like, what you want to be the best. Like for me, I would love to be the best in seeing the world come to know their identity. I would love for that movement to take place in the next 15 years that every single person. So I'm imagining it and saying, I want that identity to be number one in the world, they knowing who they are, where they came from, and what's their purpose, what's in their hands, what are their dreams and visions and purpose, and what are they doing to get it done, right? So pop something in the chat group as you think about your dreams, but we'll go through a little bit of a scenario on how you get there. So last week we covered this, and I'll just put it up here to remind people. And for those who weren't here last week, you just get a little bit of a roadmap here. A vision is a roadmap to success. So from your dreams, if you don't have vision, you're not landing it. There are no wheels if you don't have vision. Does that make sense? Now, in the past, the vision statement has been something a company writes that's actually not landing things. So imagine being able to change this. This thing, I believe, is going to be one of the most important things that we're going to see take place as a change in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of us making a difference in our world when we take a dream that we have and bring it into vision. And that vision is that there is a roadmap. There is something that's going to take place. So creating a well-structured plan is vital to achieving your goals. Outline the steps you need to take, set deadlines, and allocate resources accordingly. A detailed plan will serve as your roadmap to success. Share your goals with a friend, family member, or mentor who can hold you accountable. All right. So that's what a vision should be. How many of you have heard that before? Like I didn't. And then I began to look at this and I was going, wow, this is very powerful. When we don't just have a vision statement, but instead we have something that is birthed from a dream that is actually practical and can be landed. So one of the things we covered last week, you guys remember this? For those who were here, is that make sure that a vision isn't about just reaching a goal, right? Here am I with a roadmap to get to my goal. Because once you get to the peak of that mountain, what happens next? Because that becomes goals. And goals are the lowest common denominator. I used to be a big fan of setting goals. I now use goals as the lowest thing that I would do in my day-to-day. But the highest level is not about goal setting. The highest level is about imagination and vision. And then there's purpose and calling. All right. So what if success didn't look like this? Because when we get there, what's next? And we set ourselves up for this potential that we can never fail again. And what if success instead looks like a circle, where you make a decision on something, you implement it, you monitor it, you do it again and again and again, and you have your highs and lows, but your low will be still higher than your previous low, right? And your high is always higher than your previous high. What if, we've been taught, how many of you were taught this, start somewhere, in a job, you get a new career, a new car, you go to the bank, get some savings happening, you open up your super fund, which is the 401k in America. Here in Australia, we call it super. In other countries, you might have some savings. You get a loan, you buy a house, you invest in stock. Somewhere along the line, you cash out and you retire, right? Isn't that what we've been taught? And that is not how we're meant to live, because it's just like a linear pathway. What if we can live from the place of retirement? What would you do when you retire? Are you doing it now? And that's what helped me to retire at the age of 36 into a place where I bought back my time, because I didn't want to trade time for money anymore. What if, so for some of the younger people here who are in school, you might have a success roadmap that you've been taught, which is graduate high school, go to university, graduate from university, get a job, build a company maybe, or get a career and be the best. And it's like, okay, what happens after that? So what if it's meant to look more like the opportunity to see your successes as a circle? Okay, if that's making sense to you guys, I want you to put a 222 in the chat group just to say, look, I'm making that's making sense. And anyone who missed out on this, grab the recording from last week on YouTube, and you'll get to also understand it better. So what we want to cover today is just focusing on the dreams and understanding that vision is a roadmap. But before we can get to vision, some of you might feel like, I've forgotten my dreams. Life has just taken over and I've forgotten to dream again. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you are dreaming again? And how many of you are excited about your dreams? 10 being, I'm super excited about my dreams. I've got clear dreams, not clear vision. I'm talking about dreams. I've got a clear dream. I know where I'm heading. I know what I want in life. I know what I want to achieve, what I want to get. 0 being, I've forgotten all my dreams. Because when I say forgotten, there is nobody here who says I don't have dreams. When we were kids, we had dreams, right? I remember when I was a kid, the stuff I used to say I wanted to be, and my sister would sit there and go, "You are nuts." I remember one of my careers was I wanted to be a policeman, and she goes, "That's crazy." I still remember we were sharing a bedroom. I was like 5 years old, I think, and I remember standing on the bed saying, "I want to be a policeman. I want to bang, bang, shoot people." And she goes, "You'll be dead in no time. That's a silly career." And then I thought about it and I said, "I'm going to be a fireman." And I put the hose pipe, I'm going to put out fires. She goes, "You'll be dead. You'll be probably burnt." Like, she's not helpful. And she was dashing my dreams, but no, she wasn't. She was actually shaping them to make me think through my dreams. And I remember my dream finally being, and I stuck to it from that point onwards, was I wanted to be a doctor, a rock star, and a priest, right? Because I wanted to heal people. I wanted to create music that would connect people's souls. And I wanted to connect people back to their creator. And the only way I knew that was to say doctor, rock star, priest, right? And so Rubika had nothing to say about that. She said, "That's good." But thank God. So today I get to do those things. I didn't become a doctor, thank God, because I don't fully agree with all doctors. Any doctors in the room, I apologize. Because where doctors finish, God starts. And we've seen some amazing things that God has done just because we've believed beyond what science has said. But it's backed up by science. I didn't get to be a rock star, but what I get to do is have these amazing opportunities of connecting people's soul through music with their inner being and with who they are. And thirdly, I didn't get to be a priest. I get to travel around the world and do the same work as a priest, and that's pretty exciting for me. Awesome. I've got 2 people who have responded, only 3 people. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 to 10, how many of you have dreams that are excited about, super ready? 0 being got no dream, forgotten my dreams. 10 being I am amazingly excited. I know where I'm heading and I'm super excited about my dreams. And I may not have a full roadmap, but I'm there. I'm getting there, right? Awesome. Wow. Love it. You guys are changing the landscape of what we're going to be doing in our world. Just in perspective, some of you have seen a different design of this, and I'm not going to go through much of this, but it's something to understand that dreams and vision is the roadmap, but it's always connected to our purpose. And everyone, I believe personally, has the same purpose in life: to take ownership of our world, invite others through bridges of friendship to their identity and purpose. We all have a different calling, and that calling can come out in our ministries, in our goals, our talents, and expertise. Okay. And a lot of the time we've started in the wrong place because of how the education system has taught us and the governmental system has taught us. And what we're doing is returning back to how we were created to run our lives. Okay. So let's focus on dreams. So I have now, let me go back here. I've got 5 questions that I want you to answer. You get 2 minutes per question. I want you to take your time. And if you haven't already, please get a paper and pen, and or some sort of device. This will change your life dramatically, because what happens is your imagination begins to take over the reality of what's around you, and the reality becomes your imagination. And when you work from your imagination, powerful things happen. That means that you're not limited by what you see around you. Okay. So if you guys are ready, I want you to put a Y in the chat group. If you still need more time, put an N to grab a paper and pen. You all get 2 minutes. I'm going to put the timer on. And again, just have fun with this. But the reason I've got 2 minutes, I don't want you to think too much about this. I want you to splurt out what's their dot points as you answer these questions. And as you do it, I actually believe you're creating right now. What we're doing is creating an atmosphere for change. All right, we're creating an environment for change. Awesome. Looks like most of you are ready. Let's go. All right. Question number 1. If you inherited 10 million USD dollars today, what would you do? And let's start our 2 minutes. If you inherited 10 million USD dollars today, what would you do? So I want you to write the answers down, as many dot points as you can, bring it out as detailed as you can. Put a little music in the background while you're doing that. We got about 30 seconds to go. All right. Let's go to question 2, guys. So don't worry about where you've got up to. Just get up to question 2 now. Question 2. If you had 6 months to live, what would you do with your remaining time on the earth? All right. In dot point, very important.
Go to work in Perfect.
In dot point, write down.
How healthy are you, Ruben, for the 6 months?
Up to you. Great question. Up to you. Dot points. You don't have to write paragraphs, just dot points. With 20 seconds to go. All right, let's stop there. So for those, if anyone's just joined us during the exercise, pull out a paper and not too late. We're just talking about how we can achieve our dreams and how we can be clear on what our dreams are. And this exercise helps us towards that. Okay, I've used it for 30 years. It's been very helpful in getting clarity. And I've not had to answer the questions after the first few years because the answers were coming up to be around about the same. All right, be ready for the next question. Here it is. We got 5 questions. So this is question 3. If you had all the time, money, health, and great relationships, what would you do? All the time. So you could live as long as you want, short as you want, have as much money, resources, or as less as you want, great health, and perfect, great relationships. So literally no stress in your life. What would you do? All right, let's go. 2 minutes. Seconds to go. Or just dot points, that's all you need to do. Awesome. Hey guys, question number 4. If you had 50,000, now this is an interesting question, so I want you to listen, pay attention to it, and I'll start the timer after I've said it. If you had 50,000 USD to spend, invest each month in its entirety, so you have to spend all of it every month before getting the next month's allowance of the same, what would you do with this responsibility? Make sense? So you have $50,000 every month, but you have to spend it all, invest or spend it all, before you can get the next month's allocation. And it's never ending. It will keep coming in. What would you do? All right, let's start our 2 minutes. Point form again, guys. Just put as much as you can. Get your brain, get your soul thinking, your imagination going, your dreaming happening. 40 seconds to go. All right. Last question, guys. You're doing extremely well. You ready for the last question? What are 3 things you have ever dreamed of doing, achieving in life? And put as much detail as you can in it. Okay? As much detail as you can.
Can you just repeat that again, Ruben? What are 3
Sure.
things?
What are 3 things you have ever dreamed of doing or achieving in life? As much detail as you can. One minute to go, guys. As detailed as you can. This is a powerful time to dream. Wonderful. All right, our 2 minutes are up. You guys have done excellent. So pop your pens down. There's no right or wrong answer here. Okay, how many of you felt a moment? You know what I mean by a moment? You kind of just connected with something deep in your soul. Your imagination kicked back in. When I first did this, close to 30 years ago, we were given 30 seconds to answer these questions. And the reason we do 30 seconds is it literally just jumps. You just got to put in whatever you're thinking without filtering it. We're very good at filtering our thoughts and going, oh, that's not possible, or why went, and then we talk ourselves out of the dream, right? It's too hard to do. It'll take too long. And then after 30 seconds, I would go and meditate on it. But when I first started doing it, it would take me a lot of shifting each time to change what I was saying, put more detail in, try to understand better. Now it's just like beautiful to live out of my dreams. And I want to encourage you to do that because this will really make a difference. So Hyacinth, it really touched you. Can you just share a little bit about how you connected something here as you were which question in particular, or was it just all the questions? What happened?
For me, the last question, it actually kicked in. What are 3 things you've ever dreamed of doing and achieving in life? That actually kicked in and reminded me of, all the dreams that I actually put them aside and actually focus on this ones, but I actually kicked in and that was really important. And I was like, yeah, this one is actually what I've just been wanting to write down. It just kicked in and I said, I have to write it down. It's very important and I wouldn't want to forget about that. But yeah, if you want me to share it too, I could, but
Beautiful. Well, we'd love to hear your dreams. Why don't you answer question 5 for us?
oh yeah, well, the one that I won't start with number 1 and number 2. The number 3 one was you remember there's certain times we were doing a presentation in the company we were last time. You all know about Valides. And yeah, so it actually reminded me of one of my biggest dreams is I forgot of, wanting to actually bring a big community together of young people and inspire them and, also tell them about kingdom. So that actually kicked in and it actually came into my mind straight away and I was like, oh wow, that's actually one of the things I wanted to do. It's not just all about me trying to become the biggest soccer player in the world and but that kicked in and told me yeah and also inspired them. That's what kicked in number 5.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Guys, can we put a 888 in the chat group just to encourage Hyacinth? He's 16 turning 17 next week, and I'm so excited about he's reminded himself of his dream that he had last year. That was a very powerful dream that inspired all of us who heard it. And I still remember that dream. So I'm glad you've remembered it, son, because you'd forgotten about it. But now you've and this is what the exercise does. Anyone else would like to just an opportunity to share? Was there anything here as we're doing this that really touched you and you felt like, oh, I'm going back to remembering some of the dreams and then refocusing on maybe I've got caught up to them day to day and forgotten why I was created and what was in me that wants to, feel content when I achieve these. So anyone else wants to just share? Yeah, and you could share it by even answering one of the questions if you want to. Let's support one another and do this.
Yeah.
Hello, Mama Carol.
Wanna go? Yeah.
Let's go.
Um, which number do you want, or do you want all of them?
Pick one and share it with us. Pick one of the questions and share it with us.
Okay. Let me pick number 2. I got them all written down anyway, but let me just pick one. If you have 6 months to live, what will you do with the remaining time on it? My answer is I will do what I've always been doing. And praise God for my life.
As simple as that. So any more deep, if someone doesn't know who you are and what you've been doing, what is that you've been doing?
Doing what I've been doing, like living a kingdom life, being a blessing to people, actualizing my dreams, touching lives, and so on. Like number 5, the answer to number 5 is, for me, is to invest in people with my money, travel and enjoy with my family, and get most or many of my dreams actualized or come to pass by also impacting people with what I have been given. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. So let's look at number 1, and this will also something, Hyacinth, I want you to think about as well. And for every one of you, if we say one of our dreams, you said, was to impact people with your money, more detail, how would you do that? Would you build houses for them? Would you get jobs for them? Would you create some sort of resource for them? Would you create a children's home? Would you?
Yeah. I think that also comes in one of the numbers, and I think how we do that is, building a home for the homeless, or touching the motherless ones, or giving out to people who are less privileged,
Beautiful.
touching their lives. Yeah.
Wonderful. So the next time I want each of you to get more details, and would you do an exercise? And if you're ready to do this, I want you guys to for accountability to say a yes in the chat group once I've told you what you're going to do. During this week, I want you guys to think of one question each day and just meditate on it. So when you think about what are the 3 things you have ever dreamed of doing, achieving in life, you might read through it and go, okay, I want to impact lives, youth, like what Hyacinth said. I want to impact youth around the world, tell them about their identity, create a big group of people that I can impact and influence. And then now I want to, you'd want to meditate on that. What does that look like? Start to imagine in your mind, are they coming on a Zoom meeting? Are you traveling around the world and having face-to-face meetings, one-to-one or bigger groups? Are you having ongoing small groups around the world meeting together? Like, what does it look like? What are they going to talk about? How are they going to act? What's going to happen? The more detail we can start to imagine, that becomes our reality. Because remember, I started with this statement, and most of you agree with it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between your imagination and reality. And if you can make your imagination reality, then you get out of all the issues of this world and you get into your purpose and you start living from it. And when you start living from it, it's a beautiful place because you're not trying to set goals anymore. You're just living from a place of freedom. And even if you don't feel like the circumstances around you are still, they might be limited, but nothing's stopping you. Why? Because your imagination hasn't stopped you. And that is powerful, right? Thank you, Mom Carol, for sharing. And Hyacinth, one more person. Choose something that's impacted you here. And would you share one of the questions? Maybe question 5 seems to be a good question for everyone, but any one of the questions and share your answer to these questions.
I can do number 1.
We'll choose number 4.
All right, we're going to do Teresa and then Ross. Ross, sorry, the lady goes first.
Fair enough.
Okay, Ross, okay.
It's okay, Teresa, go for it. He's given it over to you. Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay, number 4. So with my 50,000 USD every month, I'll make sure I pay people's school fees, because there are people around who are looking for ways to pay school fees or go to school and they can't go. So this is their prayers being answered. Then I'll try and pay hospital bills. Like some people who need to go for special treatments, I like to contribute for the treatments. Then I'll build houses for people, because this money comes every month. I'll start building houses, maybe 2 at a time. By the time I finish 1 or 2, I'll know where they are. Then I'll take care of myself, my own life. That is by traveling, enjoying my life the way I like, then being able to contribute in my church activities where people need help. Then that is what I think I'll do with my 50,000 every month.
Beautiful. Love that. So if anyone else answered question 4, and hopefully all of you did this, one of the things I want you guys to think about is allocating actual amounts. So when my mentor first gave me this and wrote these questions, I was actually on a torn sheet of paper with pencil that I first got these questions, and I wrote them down, and they, like I said, they really changed and shaped me. And they've shaped a lot of people I've mentored over the years, because it's made us go back to these questions and go back to our dreams. So question 4 is an interesting one, because I want you to allocate. I love the fact that you want to pay school fees to people. I'm assuming the school fees of people maybe in third world countries. Teresa, maybe it could be in especially in Nigeria, where you originate from. Would that be right?
Yes.
Beautiful. So what I want you to think about is every month you might say, I'm going to allocate 10,000 USD for school fees. I'm going to allocate 7,000 USD for hospital funds. I'm going to allocate 5,000 USD to live off. I'm going to allocate 2,000 USD to put aside and invest. I'm going to allocate. So, you guys get what I mean? When you go into detail, your mind starts to think about how it can generate such types of income, because this is quite possible to generate every month if you start to imagine it. All right. But if you have nowhere where you're going to put it, then your mind will think that's impossible. This is somebody's salary for a year. How could I achieve it in 1 month? As opposed to, there's lots of things that I've got for it to function from. So I need to have this money coming in. Okay. So excellent. Teresa, thank you for sharing. Ross, let's go to you.
Yeah, I'll do number one.
Yes, sir.
So we start with 10 million. I'll keep 2 million, invest 2 million, and give away 6 million to like the starving people, anyone in need. You give it to organizations all around the world that you can trust, and that's it.
Beautiful.
And the investment of 2 million. Investment of 2 million is to continue on helping around the world, because the 2 million USD for myself, that's heaps to live on.
Beautiful. So you will invest 2 million and you will see it earning its own.
Yes.
And that's enough for you to live on. What about for your beautiful wife sitting next to you? Will that be enough?
That's heaps for us. Yeah.
You made the decision.
So you give away 6 million straight away. Yeah,
all right.
You tell them, right? That's 2 million USD and up for us, isn't it?
So yeah, we can invest that invest.
You lost your signal a little. Are you guys there? I think we've lost their signal. They'll come back in a minute. Awesome. So
Say what I said for 4.
Yes, Margaret, go for it.
I found this hard to do. I really did struggle with I am struggling with dreams. I just feel as though, I've been dreaming and imagining things for so long and nothing's come to pass. So I am in a bit of a kind of a funk at the moment when it all comes to that. It's just where I am at the moment. But for that number 4, I actually said pretty much what you've just said. I said I'd live off 5,000, 10%
right
a month. Then I'd invest 10%, and then I'd use 4,000 in every month for ministry and projects that I'd choose, that I would have chosen, or was, maybe they'd be already projects within P61, or they'd be other projects. And the main project for me has always been the concept of buying older houses or rundown houses and renovating them and creating, beautiful homes out of them, and being able to provide those for people on low incomes. That's probably the main dream I've had around having a lot of money, what I'd do with it.
I love that. I haven't heard you share that last bit for a while. Buying older homes, renovating them, and giving them, helping out people who are of a lower income level. But that's exciting that you see you're remembering some of your passion, your dreams.
Just realised that, I remembered.
Yep, because it's been a couple of years since you said that, and it's, I remember when you said it first, and I really loved it. It caught my attention. Beautiful. So again, when we talk about saying I'll give X amount to projects, next time what I want you guys to do through the week is, and Margaret do this as well, is take one of the questions and just meditate on them and just imagine, what project will I give it to? How much will that be? What change will it make to that? If I say I give it to the children's project in Sri Lanka, how is it going to actually affect them? Am I just going to do what everyone else does, give charity and tick a box? Or am I actually going to be involved in saying, what is it that you guys need? And I'll give you what you need, not more than where they don't know what to do with it. So they might only need half of what you're willing to give. And so then you'd be able to do 2 projects. And so being a bit more thinking about, okay, they're going to have a dance company in every location, 6 locations. How much is that going to cost to maintain, to set up? Do I want to be a part of the setup? Do I want to be a part of the maintenance, but maybe a percentage, not the whole thing? Do I want to give them a time frame where within 2 years to 5 years, they're going to be self-sufficient and I don't need to keep giving? So just, I want you guys to think, imagine detail as much as you can, because how many of you here imagine all your problems? All right. Don't put your hand up to start. All right. All right. And how much time does that buy and how much real estate does that buy in our minds? All right. So what if we spent as much time imagining our dreams? And so what I wanted you to do with these questions is to just get down to dreams. Now, if you notice, it comes down to money, time, health, relationships. Okay. Now, I'm sure nobody here, did anyone write, I'm going to work harder with question 2, 6 months to live, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to go make more money for my boss. I'm going to go and try and get to work more and not see my children or not see my family members. No, I'm sure no one wrote that, right? And yet what takes up a lot of our time or most of our time is the very thing that is not meant to. And so what this is doing is trying to flip that. Now, it's not saying we suddenly change everything in our lives. It means we change our imagination and then things in our lives start to change. I remember when I wanted to retire at the age of 30, it took me an extra 6 years, but I was imagining at the age of 30, what does it look like to be able to get out of this whole 9 to 5 grind and buy back my time and then do the things that I love doing and then do it together with my wife and do it together with my children and take them on these experiences and then do it together with our church family, do it together with our project family, do it together with our wealth creators. How many of you would love to travel with us, say to a safari in Kenya next year or to see the beautiful beaches in Sri Lanka and do, as we go, do projects as well. We're not just going to go, we go have fun, but we also get to travel. And none of you would say, I can't do it because I got to get back to work. I only got 2 weeks. I've only got this amount of time. I don't have enough sick leave. I don't have enough this. How many of you would love to get to this place? And I want you to put a 777 in the chat group if this is what you would love to do. If we could say, hey, next year, let's go spend 6 weeks in Kenya and Uganda and East Africa. Let's go see the safaris. Let's go visit the women's prison, the juvenile prison. Let's go give something to them and help them. Let's go empower some people and then go empower some lions and watch them lazily sitting there and some elephants and see, take a hot air balloon and then let's go to Sri Lanka and India and let's spend another 6 weeks there. And how many of you would think that would be worth doing and living life that way where you're living on your terms, right? I got a lot of 777s, right? How many of you would go, no, I can't, right? I would rather work. Right, that's crazy, right? But we think it's there because in our mind, this is the only way we've been taught. So going back to that screen where we've been taught this, I can only do what I want to do once I retire. And how many of you know we're coming to a point where in Australia, a lot of us are from Australia, but it's every country in the world I've traveled to is the same. We can't live off our retirement and we won't be able to. And a lot of people are working till they're 70 plus. And the accountants are telling them you can't retire because your lifestyle is not going to be looked after by your retirement funds. All right. Now, what if we turn that all around and we begin to create, doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're as young as Hyacinth here, 16, or as old as the oldest here, I don't know who the oldest is today. Sandy, are you the eldest today? 70 something, and amazing that she's on. And I love it. Sandy?
I think so.
Anyone older than Sandy? How old are you?
75.
Anyone older than Sandy here? Amazing. So 16 to 75 bracket. Doesn't matter how old or young you are. Well, Patrick, you're 11? 16 to 75. You don't look it, bro. Imagine that imagination of what we can do. I love, Joseph, when you said, I want to go fishing and just spend time doing the thing I love best, right? So our system has taught us, it's not your fault that our system has taught us this type of behavior when we are that's on the screen, and even this type of behavior when it's trying to achieve something. And once you achieve your first million, everything will be fine. No, it's not. Doesn't work like that. What if we change the system and begin to live from our dreams, and we look at this guy at the end as what we want to achieve, which are our dreams, not our goals, and then start to live life through that. Make the change, start to focus, start to improve how we do things in life, reduce wastage and things that are taking our time and start to innovate, right? What if we start to live from our retirement, and we call it retirement, putting new tires on. And rather than when we start our career saying, I just, need to get to this point, but instead living from that point. And how do we do that? By getting to our dreams. Okay, so it's very, very important. Now, Margaret said something important, which I want to point out to you guys, and we did talk about this a few weeks ago, is that there are things that hinder us. And these are the hurdles that we talked about a few weeks ago. And if you weren't here, you can go look at the video on this, on self-doubt, fear of failure, lack of clarity, inconsistent effort, limiting beliefs, external obstacles, poor planning, lack of support, impatience, and unresolved issues. All right. And so when we're aware of this, we don't have to try and be perfect. We just have to be aware of obstacles and then reconnect back to our dreams. Okay. And I want to leave you with this before we open up for any discussion and questions, is the reminder that the 5 ways that we manifest our dreams, right, and bring them into reality is, number 1, have a dream, and make sure this week you start looking at those 5 questions over and over and over again and start imagining how it looks. And every time there's a negative thought, try and flick the channel. And now you have a channel to flick to, which are your dream channel, right? So I want you to think about it, that you've created a new channel, and it's called the dream channel. So every time there's a problem, you can acknowledge the problem. Don't deny it. Please don't be an ostrich and pop your head in the ground. I've done that often, and that's not a good thing either. But we embrace it, but then we flick the channel onto our dream channel. Number 2, figure out your calling. Okay, and we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. What are you so passionate about that you would do it even for free? Okay, have a strong belief. Number 3, so that means don't stop believing in this. This is so important. Number 4, start to talk about your imagination like it's being done. Okay, so faith it till you make it. Faith it till you make it. Don't fake it. Don't fear it. All right. How many of you have ever been told? I've gone to mentors, and this is the one thing I disagree on. Some of the amazing mentors I've had over my decades is they would say, you just got to faith it till you make it. Act like you're, dressed like a millionaire, walk around like you have millions of dollars. Guys, act like a millionaire, don't spend like one. All right. Don't fake it, because people can see through that. All right. We live in a world now that is so much more transparent. I don't know why people are scared to put on social media what they really are, and they put up some fake stuff. Be just genuine on social media. I talk about my family, I talk about my faith, and I talk about my business and entrepreneurship. Those are 3 things pretty much I talk about on my social media. And I'm not ashamed to say where I'm at in life, where I've got to, what are my ups, what are my downs, and being transparent, right? Because someone can, nowadays, we can pick a fake a mile away. Is that true? But yet sometimes, because we so want to be fake ourselves and not be true to ourselves, we'll be willing to just jump into with someone who has the right words but doesn't have the right actions. And so I'm always big on, if someone's going to mentor me, do they have they got the fruit of what they're saying? So faith it till you make it. Someone can type that in. Don't fake it. Don't fear it. All right. Start to talk about your imagination like it's being done. And finally, decide and act in the way you will behave now, today, once your dream has been achieved. Okay. How will you act? Start acting like that now. So I don't tell my children, one day when we've got more money, we can do X, Y, Z. One day when my son, recently came and said, hey, Dad, can we go to America? Can you, I was going to Dallas, and I said, can we go to America? And I said, right now we can't steward that finance because we've got some other projects that we're doing that we need to do. And rather than saying to him, I don't have enough money, we don't have enough, one day I just said to him, hey, let's work together and go to Heavenly Father and ask, how are we going to get this to look? What is it going to look like when one day you can come to the US with me? And even today we were just talking about that, and I just, he's Josiah is 8 years old, and he just started getting him to imagine what it would look like traveling. Last year we went to the pyramids. It was beautiful. We got to stay in a beautiful place that every morning we opened up our Airbnb window and we could see the pyramids just there. And the kids got to see, being homeschooled, they got to see rather than just hear in a book, read, watch. They got to see it for themselves. So what are you imagining? Because that was my imagination. I wanted my children to have an education that was practical, but also an appreciation for different cultures and people, and to be schooled in life rather than just in academics, but including academic as well. What about you? What are your thoughts and your imagination? I love this picture of this. Where does our imagination come from? It's within us. All right. No matter what dreams and vision you have for yourself, you are the one that's responsible for its manifestation. For any grand dream, you will have critics. People will call you unreasonable, and self-doubt will try to sneak into your soul and darken your vision. Manifest through them. That is powerful. All right. So guys, I hope